So this handout is available on Blackboard, and I use it to go through what happens when the demand and supply curves shift. So we have the rows are talking about what happens to demand, an increase in demand, no change in demand or decrease in demand, and increase in supply, no change in supply or decrease in supply. So we're going to find out what happens to price and quantity in each one of these circumstances. So the middle box, there's no change in demand, no change in supply, so that means no change. That one's simple. And then these four, these are the ones that we did already where only one side of the market changes. So if we have an increase in demand, no change in supply, that looks like this. So we have an increase in price and an increase in quantity. Decrease in demand, that would be a decrease in price, decrease in quantity, decrease in supply, increase in price and decrease in quantity. An increase in supply is a lower price and higher quantity, right? So we can see, what's happening. This was our original equilibrium price and quantity, and then we have the new one where the new curves cross. So these on the corners are where two things are happening at once. So we have, and here we have, let's say, an increase in both sides. So we have an increase in demand, let's draw that like this, and an increase in supply like this. So what happened right here, if we look at the new equilibrium compared to the original one, we have a higher quantity, right? And we have a lower price. But that's because of the precise way that I drew these curves. Let's say demand didn't shift out quite that far, was an increase in demand, but only a little bit like, in supply. Only a little bit like this. Then we would have an increase in quantity, but we'd have a higher price. And it's possible that supply would shift out just enough, or the combination of the shifts in the two curves would be just enough that price would be exactly the same. But no matter what happens, we definitely have a higher quantity. And for price, we don't know. Price could go anyway. We could have a higher price, a lower price, the same price. But definitely quantity is going to go up if both these things happen. An increase in demand and an increase in supply. Here we have an increase in demand. We'll draw it like this. And a decrease in supply, like that. Well, that way I just randomly sketched it there. We have a higher price and we have a higher quantity. But you can see that I can draw it so that we have a higher price and a lower quantity, or I could draw it where we have a higher price and the exact same quantity. So for this combination of changes, an increase in demand and a decrease in supply, we definitely have a higher price, and we don't know what happened to quantity. Quantity could go up, it could go down, it could stay the same. So that's what's going to happen in these circumstances where both sides of the market are changing. We're going to know one thing, whether price, the direction of one of the changes, and we're not going to know the direction of the other change. Here we have a decrease in demand and an increase in supply. And so we can see here price is going down, decrease in price. Quantity, well, right there it went down. We could draw where it was the same as originally, or we could draw where it was, let's draw a really big increase in supply, and then we can get a higher quantity. So we don't know what happened there. And then here, when both of them decrease, we're going to have a lower quantity. But price here could be higher. Right? There's our original price. We can have the same price, we can have a lower price, just depending on exactly what combination of size changes happen on the demand side and supply side. So again, this isn't something that you should memorize. This is just something where you can recreate these changes. If you're asked, what happens when demand decreases and supply decreases, you could sketch it out and come up with that same answer. Or if you're told quantity has decreased following a change, what could have caused this, then you can figure out which changes could cause that and which changes could not cause that. So we'll see that in some practice problems, and if you have any questions, please ask.